By the way, if you've got a batch of images selected, as we have here, and you want to deselect them quickly, hit Ctrl D. What we're going to do now is turn our attention to Smart Collections. Now these work in the same core way as the one we've just demonstrated. But what we can do differently here is we can set the criteria that Lightroom will recognize, and when it does, it will automatically place the image into our Smart Collection. Now let's set one or two up and test it. What I'm going to do here is a real-life project. Through the year, our photographic club, and many others I guess, run a series of competitions, and amongst those competitions we have set subjects. Now the subjects vary, and we can put the subjects in as a Smart Collection for the entire year if we want to. But if we're just working a month or two in advance, we can do that too. So I'm going to set up the first one, and I'm just going to call this one Monochrome. It's a genuine set subject from our camera club this year. So I'm going to go to the little plus sign, and I'm going to add to create a Smart Collection, and I'm going to call this one at the top Monochrome. I'm going to use the exact title that the set subject has been set for. I'm not going to abbreviate it and use mono or black and white. I'm going to make monochrome. Now what we can do here is set some rules. We can match all of what we've put in, or what we're going to put down here, and I think that's probably the best option to stay with, but we can select any or none. So we're going to stay with the default all. Now the rating I'm going to choose here is any searchable text. I'm going to select that, and I want my searchable text, of course, to recognize the word monochrome. So monochrome it is, and I'm going to create my Smart Collection. But before I do, we've got a little plus here. I can add other options on top of that, so I could make this quite a complex automatic collection. Let's keep it pretty basic on this occasion, and we'll remove that second option and click Create. Now my practical idea here would be at the start of the year, take just a little bit of time to set up all of the set subjects for the year, because you've only got to do it the once, and once you've done it, it's going to make organising your entries pretty easy. So I could now spend some time setting up one for the kitchen, which is another of our set subjects, industry, rain, low light, and there's one or two more as well. You can see what happened though when we created it. It jumped straight to that collection. We can see the name of the collection, but it's also telling us that we don't have any photos in that Smart Collection just yet. So let's go back to our April images. Now we can look down here and we can decide if anything meets the subject of monochrome, and clearly there's one or two potential subjects here that do. Now I don't have to select them all, but wouldn't it be a good idea that when I create a monochrome subject that maybe I drop it into my Smart Collection? Because it doesn't matter how many pictures I put in my Smart Collection, I'm not adding weight to my computer, I'm not making copies, I'm just earmarking those so that I can come back to them later and maybe sort out the ones I want to send. If we're putting an image into a competition, isn't it better to be able to select 2 images from 10 rather than 2 images from 2? Now once again, what I'm about to do here we can do singularly, we can do with a group or all of the images. Let's just scroll down a little bit and see if there's any more monochrome ones here. Now this one isn't black and white, but it would probably meet the subject of monochrome, so I'm going to highlight that too. But I think that's probably all I've got here. Let's make sure. Okay, there's nothing there that jumps out to me as a monochrome image. What I'm going to do with those 2 images now I've got them highlighted is I'm going to go to this option. I could go up here and just add a comma and add another tag, but I'll just type it in here where it says click here to add keywords. So all I'm going to do is put monochrome. Now if you look over to the collections on the left, you'll find the 0 has now gone up to 2. So this will be a great opportunity. As we work through the year, we gradually add images that fit the bill into the relevant Smart Collections. I'm sure you noticed when we set up that Smart Collection that there were many other different criteria we can set, such as our coloured labels, our stars, our flags, etc. Let's take a look in the July folder. We'll just try this once again. Here we have quite a few. These happen to be infrared, but they're certainly monochrome. So I could select, using the Shift-Click method, all of those down to there at least. These have got some colours in them, so I'll leave them out. These two would be monochrome, but perhaps that one wouldn't. But let's not complicate matters. All I need to do here is to go here and put my monochrome in there. And to be honest, we should have it down here, so I can save a bit of time, look, because we've got our keyword suggestions, and this generally shows us the recent ones. So if I click, straight away look over at the monochrome collection, and you'll see it's jumped to 9. Pretty quick, pretty simple, and smart. In the next folder you can see I've got a number of options here. I've done quite a bit of black and white work this year because I've just had a digital SLR converted to shoot infrared, as you probably have heard me say. So I've been using it quite extensively to learn all about infrared. So I've got quite a few images here, and as you can see I've highlighted quite a few of those, but not all. So just for the sake of demonstration, we'll do that once again. We'll hit the monochrome option here, and straight away in our Smart Collection we've got a number of images building up. Control D will take those selections off. Now there is one difference with a Smart Collection over a standard collection. When we worked with the standard collection, we could go in and check out the images we have to choose from, and if we chose not to use that one, I can hit the delete key. It just disappears, no problem at all. Not the same with a Smart Collection. Let's go to this image. I've changed my mind. I don't think that's suitable for a competition, so I'm going to hit the delete key, and we get a warning message. It tells us that we can't delete a photo directly from a Smart Collection. Okay. It says try editing the photo's metadata so that it no longer matches the Smart Collection criteria, or we can delete the photo from the Lightroom catalogue. Well, of course we don't want to delete it from the catalogue. That's not what we want at all. So if I wanted to remove that, I need to come up here and I need to remove the keyword. Now I can do that simply by just tabbing it out, and the image is gone. Of course there are other ways to do this because we have our labels. So through the course of the year, from time to time when I'm at a loose end for a few minutes, what I could do is maybe double click one of these images, and you notice when we come down here the coloured labels are gone. Well, go up to the end here and we can bring them back. There we are. So what I was about to say is I can go through these and I can start to make some decisions. I can start to say, no, that's definitely a no, so I'm going to give that a red label. Let's move to the next one. Quite like that one. That one's quite nice. I like that one too. No, I'm not too keen on that. I'm going to give that one a red label. That one's a little bit over contrasty now I'm looking at it. This one I quite like. So you can see how we can step through here, and we can start applying labels to those that we've had second thoughts, because when we look at these images over a period of time, this is how we make our selections. We gradually go through them and we look at them more than once and decide which ones we want to use and which ones we don't. Let me go back to the grid view with a touch of the G key, and there you can see how we're whittling down our selection and how easy it can be with a Smart Collection. Now at any time we can go to our Smart Collection, right click, and we can delete it, and we can do the same with our standard collection as well. We know we're not losing any images at all because we've got them all within these folders. Just to bring this to a close, I'm sure you can think of lots of different reasons you may want to use collections and Smart Collections. I think they're really a good idea. But let me just go back and we'll take a little bit of a longer look at the criteria we have. Let's just create a Smart Collection here, and all we'll do here is just take a look at the sort of things that we can use. There's the star rating, the flag, coloured label, label text, source, don't really want anything like that. I think camera info, location. I think most of the time in a practical world, the world I live in, it's going to be something like stars, flags, colours, or searchable text, because I think using the keywords works a treat, particularly when you can add the keyword which is relevant to, in our case, the subject that I've used, which is Camera Club competitions, but there's going to be many more.